Australia, New Zealand, those that are joining from around the globe, welcome to this fantastic call, this showcase call. I'm going to introduce your host. Your host for this fantastic call is our President's team, member of our Australia-New Zealand Strategic Planning Committee. Welcome to President's team, Mark Revere. Mark, over to you.
Pete Hurley, I am excited. Welcome everybody. Congratulations for making the time and joining us on this call. Hello to everybody, no doubt, across Australia. I absolutely am aware that there's also some Aussies in Malaysia, so big shout to you guys. And I have no doubt there's probably people tuning in from all around the world. So today's a very special call, guys. Whether you are a customer, maybe you're a new customer, perhaps you're a seasoned distributor, maybe you're a newer distributor, who knows what brings you to the call. I also know there's some people here that are just joining to listen in. They may be curious, they've had an invitation, and they're tuning in today to a very special call with a very special gentleman. So at the very least, know this, in the next 25 to 30 minutes, you'll definitely be inspired. You may take some information, you may learn some things, but at the very least, you'll walk away on your Saturday or go initially on the products, looking at the business opportunity primarily, but wanted to tick off the products. And we felt unbelievable on this nutrition around 3 or 4 days in, great energy. Today, I'm nearly 40, I'm in the best shape of my life, maximum muscle, low body fat. I feel unbelievable due to these products. But make no mistake, it was really the business opportunity that I was interested in. I needed to find a financial opportunity for myself. Thankfully, this platform has really helped me carve out an incredible lifestyle, not only from a health perspective, but definitely from a financial perspective as well. So let's get into the call. The company right now, guys, it's at a really interesting time. It's transitioning into, I guess, an on-trend way to do health and nutrition, because I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, definitely on my Instagram, 2025, the way people think about health. Stay ahead of the game. It's pivoting to use all of its experience of 45 years and its longevity of 45 years, but to stay ahead of the game, on trend from a tech perspective. So some of the stats that I want to share with you about the company, because some of you may or may not be aware, it's the world's largest publicly listed direct sales company with over 2 million distributors worldwide. There's 64,000 physical locations around the world. You guys know that. Some of you know them as smoothie bars or nutrition clubs or fit clubs or fit camps. So there's 64,000 around the world, operating in over 90 markets, supporting 150 athletes and sporting teams around the globe. And the products are, behind the products and the science is 35 PhD. So Herbalife is solid, in good hands, and it's pivoting to become 2025. The reason I wanted to share that with you is because behind this change, there's a lot of people. And right at the front are some of the distributor leaders. And the guest speaker that we have on this call is actually right up front with his wife, Disney, leading the charge and creating new ways of working, new ways of thinking, and really determining the future of this company. From the day he began in this business, I'm about to introduce him now so we can kick things off, but from the day he began this business, he set new ways of working. He set new examples of leadership. He set new mindsets, and he's taken the business to new levels of marketing plan that in its history in 45 years no one's ever seen. No one's ever seen it. And Jorge won't know this before I turn the call over to him. Jorge won't know this, but we actually started in the same year in the business. And we actually got going, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in the same month in the business. And just to give you guys some perspective, he has built, in the same time that I have built, a business over 20 times larger than myself. He's impacted and reached millions of people around the world with his wonderful wife, Disney. So without any further ado, Pete, I hope you're ready because we're going to unmute our guest speaker today, all the way from Miami, taking the time to speak to us as a country here today. 220K, our Champions Club member, Jorge de la Concepcion. Over to you, sir.
I always knew and I always believed that I would achieve great things one day in my life. Never did I imagine that it would be Herbalife, the one thing that would change my life. It doesn't matter what the work is, you gotta do the work. Get in the vision and do the work. See, we didn't settle for presidency. We decided to go for more. You get the supervisor and you think you made it. Congratulations, but there's more. We had to continue to work in order to achieve more. Doesn't matter where you're at today. If you do the work and if you don't quit, it doesn't matter how long it takes, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I'm telling you, it'll be worth it. Thank you guys.
All right, what's up, Australia? Hey, by the way, thanks for the intro, Mark. Really interesting. I didn't realize we had got started in the same year.
Yeah, we did.
That's pretty cool, man. And for some reason, I could hear the audio. I didn't see the actual. I don't know if it was a video playing or if it was just an audio, but that's pretty cool. Where'd you guys get that from? I want it. Well, thank you guys for for inviting me on this call. And just so I'm clear. Well, first of all, I know it's morning time over there in Australia. It's evening time here for us. But I think that there's people gathered in different training systems or different events or different, I don't know, nutrition clubs and things like that. Am I right? Okay, awesome. Well, cool. Listen, I don't know how many of you are here. I don't know how many of you are connected. But part of the reason for this call is for you guys to get to know me a little bit better before you get to know my full story in January. Part of the reason for being here is, listen, not for you guys to go to the event in January because we know you're going to go, but for you guys to bring as many people as you can with you. And so hopefully me getting on this call gives you a little bit of an idea of what's going to happen in January. I'm very excited. By the way, I've never been to Australia, and it's going to be a double Australia trips next year because we have our Chairman's and Founder Circle vacations also happening in New Zealand and Australia. So it seems like I'm going from never been there to going there twice in the same year. Usually happens that way for some reason. So listen, I'm excited for the Chairman's Club vacations, but I'm also very excited to be with you guys in January. And for those of you that don't know me, I mean, Mark gave a little introduction. I've been in the business for 13 years with my wife, which, by the way, could not make it on this call. She's taking care of the kids, cooking them dinner, and that we did together, the first event that we've done together in a very long time was just recently this year, where we were in Malaysia and also in, I can't remember the other place we were at. I've been so many places. But anyway, we did a couple of trainings together, which is not usual because it's usually me or her, but together, not very common. So you guys are going to get a very different kind of event. And it's very different when we do it together because I don't know, it's a different dynamic. She has her strengths and I have mine. So you guys get to experience both. But we've been in the business for 13 years. And man, Herbalife has been so life-changing. I'm 36 years old today. I started at 23. And, by the time that I was 23, I had 18 different jobs already. By the time I was 23. And between Dizzy and I, we've been together for a long time. We've been married for 16 years and I think together for 18 years and together for like 20 years. But by the time that we started Herbalife, 23, 18 different jobs, been working since I was, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. My first official job was at 15. And I've done everything. You guys will get to hear more of it in the story that I'm going to share in January, more in detail. But 18 different jobs by the time I was 23. And between the two of us, we had over $100,000 in debt from student loans for careers that we never finished. But we always knew we were destined for more, and you kind of heard a little bit about that in that video. We knew we wanted more out of life. We didn't know what that vehicle was going to be, and never imagined that it would be Herbalife. Never in our life imagined that it would be network marketing or Herbalife. In fact, I was extremely negative in the beginning. I didn't want to be a part of the business. I started just consuming some products just to support my parents, who are my sponsors. And by the way, we have the biggest blessing today, my wife and I, to have parents who are both president's teams. So my parents are sponsors, and they are president's teams. I don't even know how many Ks. And Disney's mom is actually, well, because of her, we got one of our diamonds. So she's actually one of our diamonds in our chairman's club. So she's under us, and she's a press team 20K, I believe. And so, listen, a lot of people say that they join this business because they want to retire their parents. They want to take care of their parents, or they want to take care of their loved ones. We've done that in the best way, because we don't have to take any money out of our pocket to take care of them. Herbalife takes care of them. So it's a blessing. But I started just to support my parents. I was consuming other stuff, and I said, well, I'll drink this stuff. They receive some kind of benefit. And that's mainly why I started. Little did we know that would turn into a business. And who would have imagined that it would turn into such a massive somebody else's nutrition club. And then eventually we opened up our own nutrition club, where we would also run fit camps in the parking lot. And that's how we started our business. And actually, we got to Get Team in 6 months, or hit our first cut of Get Team in 6 months. We hit our first cut of Millionaire Team in 9 months. And we got to Millionaire Team working that nutrition club. So most people think of us that, those are the social media guys. We're not just social media guys. Yeah, we brought social media to the company. I guess I don't like taking credit for it, because there was other people also who were on social media. But I think we were probably the pioneers at being able to create a system and a structure behind the scenes to make social media work and to be able to build a big business utilizing social media. The other people who were on it at the time didn't quite figure that out. We, by luck or effort or whatever it was, we figured out that we needed to have some kind of system behind the scenes to be able to make social media work. And then we figured out a beautiful harmony between social media and the nutrition club. And so one would feed the other and vice versa. And actually, out of that nutrition club today, people who basically started out of that nutrition club, we have a frontline chairman's club member who I met at the gym and then came to the club. And then we have a frontline president's team who, again, just wanted to come work out and at the fit camp that we had at the nutrition club. And so actually only one of our diamonds came strictly from social media. We have 7 diamonds, and only one of our diamonds came from social media. All the other ones came from different ways. And I have a whole training on this where I share the story on how they came in, which I'll probably share over there. But only one of our diamonds came in through social media. It was our 7th diamond, actually, that came in strictly from social media. The first 6 were something else. And so in that little nutrition club, by the way, we put our last dollars into making that nutrition club work, and then the very little bit left that we had, we invested it into going to an event. We invested it into going to an extravaganza, which, by the way, changed the course of our life. And so from the beginning, while there was other people on social media, we realized one thing. We realized that just doing business on social media wasn't enough. We realized that we needed to have structures, and we needed to have something behind the scenes where we could actually meet people. And a key part of our success in the business, there's a training which I'll do over there, and I'm probably going to do it for supervisors only. So if you're on this call right now and you're not a supervisor and you're at 35%, 42, listen, congratulations. But there's going to be some stuff that supervisors are going to get that everybody else won't get. And there'll be some stuff that tab teams will get that everybody else won't get, I'm sure. I haven't seen the agenda, but I'm sure there'll be some special supervisor trainings there. So in one of my supervisor workshops, I talk about the 6 keys to success, which I actually recently, I changed it to 7 now because I've learned things along the way. But Jim Rohn always would say that there's usually about a half a dozen things that make the biggest difference in your business. So one day I sat down and I said, what were those 6 things that make the biggest difference in my business? The six keys to our success, which is a lot of success, by the way. I said we hit, first cut of Get Team in 6 months, first cut of Millionaire Team in 9 months, first cut of President's Team in about 8 months, and then Chairman's Club in 6 years. Which is, we're not the fastest to reach any of those levels, by the way. There's people who have done it faster. But it's pretty extraordinary. It's pretty quick. And when I thought back of if I could sum up my business and what we've done in the last, at this point, we must have been in the business for like 8 years or 7 years. So what were those things? And, there's 5 first ones, again, which I won't give you here, I'll give you at the event. But the sixth one, which for me was like the glue that held the whole thing together, was building a culture of attending events. For me, the way that I explain it is, for me, there's a few different pieces to the puzzle. Okay, and so as you build the puzzle, and the puzzle gets built with those first few pieces, eventually, I don't know if you guys have ever put together a puzzle, but if you want to put it on a wall and frame it, you got to glue it somehow. So for us, the events were that glue that held the puzzle of our Herbalife business together. And it's been that way for many years. And people always wondered, well, how are you guys growing so much? Well, check the numbers. We were always the ones that had the most people at Elevates. We were always the ones that had the most people at Spectaculars. We were always that had the most people at Kickoffs. We were always that had the most people at Extravaganzas. And so we grew fast. Chairman Club in 6 years. Our life changed completely. I mean, the stuff that I would dream about before, it's beyond that. It's stupid. The life that you can live as an Herbalife Chairman's Club. We've achieved a lot of different things, but the freedom and the lifestyle, the way the company takes care of you, is really special. It changed our life. We come from nothing. We're Cuban. We come from extreme poverty. And my parents came to this country with $15 in their pocket. And Disney has an even more intense story than I do about how she was raised. We come from nothing. So for a kid that came from nothing, that started from the very bottom, that had 18 different jobs by the time he was 23, that had no idea, no direction, and who was, between the two of us, over $100,000 in debt to achieve the things that we've achieved is special. And the reality is that Disney and I are not special. It's the Herbalife opportunity that's special. It's events like this kickoff that do special things for people. And for us, the very first experience was that extravaganza. Something happened there, and something that could happen to a lot of you at this event in January. For me, what happened was, to be honest, I don't remember much of what I learned. But the events gave me certainty. And the events made me realize that I was in the right place. And it was at that event that I decided that this is what I was going to do for the rest of my life, no matter what, as long as it took. And this could be that event for you. January could be that very event for you, whether you're new or whether you've been here for a while. Listen, there's some of you that have been here for a while that need to start thinking as if you were brand new. And that might be the solution for you. And then there's some of you that are new that just need to start thinking a little bit bigger. And I'm going to try to get you to think bigger when I'm there. One of the things that I really enjoy doing is giving people vision. And I'm not going to do it by showing you guys the house that I live in or the cars that I drive. I can't do that. They won't let me do that. I wish I could. I'd walk you to my garage right now. It's amazing. I can't even believe it myself. But I'm not going to do it in that way. I'm going to give you some vision in many other ways that I know how to do it. And hopefully you walk out of there changed, not because of I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm not a personal development guy. I'm going to give you stuff that you can actually take home and make money with. Okay, I want you leaving there with stuff that you can go and make money. Because no matter how much I inspire you, if I don't give you things to make money with, it's only going to last so long. So my first event, it gave me certainty, and it made me believe that I was in the right place and that I was going to do this for the rest of my life. Hopefully, this event could do that for you. But it's no good if you go by yourself. Okay? The key is to bring people with you. And that always happens. You go to an event, you're hearing all this stuff, and you're wishing that you had more people there. You're wishing that your people were hearing the same thing that you're hearing, because you can just shut up and make them listen. And probably a lot of the same things that you're telling your people. Somebody else would say it, and all of a sudden they get it. So I'm going to give you vision. I'm going to give you tools and strategies, and I'm going to share some of the things that we do personally. Yeah, I'm an open book, and I take my job very serious when I go train a country or a team, and I take it just as serious as if I was training and teaching my team. And so I'm not going to hold anything back. I'm going to give you everything I got, and to hopefully make a difference. Listen, I want some business in Australia at some point too. So if we can make this better, and make it grow, then we all win. I'm going to share some of our successes with you, but I'm also going to share some of our struggles, because everybody thinks that our ride was just a straight up ride, and it was a straight up ride for a long time. We felt invincible for a long time, but nobody's invincible, and nothing stays on the way up forever. And so at some point, like many of you, probably many of you also experienced, you've had your ups and downs in the business. If you're brand new, you probably don't even know what that is, But if you've been in the business for a little bit, maybe you've had your ups and downs. I'm going to share with you guys some of the things that we've done in our, deepest downs in order to recover and come back stronger. Because that's what really defines leadership, I guess. It's not, what you do when things are going right, is what you do when things are going wrong. And how you react when things are going wrong. And so we wanted to make it a point that we were not one-hit wonders, and so we dusted ourselves off in many different occasions, got back up, figured out. Nobody can run away from challenges forever. You can do it for some time, but eventually we're all going to face challenges. And so hopefully some of those lessons that we've learned along the years from our challenges can serve you in your business, no matter where you are in the business now. So we'll share some of that stuff with you as well. And ultimately, just to close, my favorite part about events, listen, events, you're going to get a lot of different things. I already shared some. But ultimately, my favorite part is that we're going to have a blast. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna meet new people. I'm excited to meet a lot of you. And we're gonna make it memorable, because no event is complete without some good parties and without some good fun and without some good lifestyle to go along with it. So I don't know what they have planned, and I hope maybe there was no party and now you got to throw a party. I'm not saying you got to do that, but we got to have some fun. So listen, the event is going to be fun, but it's going to be a lot more fun if you have 5 people there with you. It'll be a lot more fun if you have 10 people there with you. It'll be a lot more fun if you have 20 people there with you. I learned something from one of my mentors recently, and for legal purposes, don't quote me on this. This is not a promise. This is just something I heard from somebody who has a lot of experience. I'm not saying that this is true, but it does make some sense. And it was something like, listen, all events are great, but there's something special about destination events, meaning an event where you have to sleep in a hotel room, where you have to leave your house, where you have to leave your comfort zone, where you have to leave your circle, and you go somewhere else that's foreign, and you got to sleep in a hotel room, and you got to probably share a room with multiple other people, and you got to cram in a car and ride there or catch a plane. Okay, there's something special that happens when you go to one of these destination events. And what I heard from him was, again, for legal, I'm not saying this is not a promise, okay? That for every person that comes with you to a destination event, it could potentially represent around $2,000 a year in business for you. That's usually what it represents, he says, from his experience. It represents around $2,000 of business a year for every person that you can get to a destination event. Let me show you do the math. 10 people, if that was the case, it's $20,000 a year. Now, this may not happen. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it just gives you an idea. There's a direct correlation between getting people to events and making more money. Because if you get people to events, they learn, they grow, and they do better in business. And if they do better in business, you do better in business. So the more people you have there with you, the better. 5, 10, whatever it is. If you're not a supervisor, get the supervisor, because there'll be some special stuff for supervisors. And listen, I'm going to give every training my best. Every section, you're going to get the best of me. And I'm telling you, I'm going to deliver. Okay? I'm going to deliver. But supervisors, there's a little more freedom for me to be able to kind of talk about certain topics with supervisors. And so, I'm a supervisor, get to work, get the supervisor. But regardless of where you are, just get there. Get there. If finances are a problem, make some sales and make some money. If time is a problem, figure out the time situation. If the kids are a problem, figure out the kids situation. If you want it bad enough, you make it happen. But get there and bring something with you. You don't want to be the one saying, I wish I would have gone. You don't want to be the one thinking, what if I would have gone?
We have absolutely no doubt, Jorge, that you're going to deliver it, and we want to thank you again up front for your time today. It was just incredible. Obviously, today was about possibility, guys, and me representing every single person on this call and 2 countries, Australia and New Zealand. I just want to thank you for your example, letting us know through your actions what it's like when someone just shows up consistently, commits no matter what, and what's possible when they go all in with our platform. So we thank you so much, brother, and we can't wait.
And by the way, I'll just say something else, Mark, that maybe I didn't mention, but we are Champions Clubs, but we're working like brand new distributors. We're working our ass off every day. I mean, we were in meetings, back and forth meetings with prospects, with we were at our Fit Club, cleaning our Fit Club earlier, and then in meetings and back-to-back meetings, and yesterday was the same thing. We're in the game, so we know the game, we understand the game, and we're going to give you stuff that's relevant to the game today, not 20 years ago.
Yes, and things that we can all take away and make money tomorrow with. So we appreciate
100%.
that. Yes, guys, you heard it all. You heard it here first. Obviously, today was about possibility, but if we move into the opportunity that we all have coming up, it's about proximity. It's about being in the room, because whilst you got so much on the Zoom today, I can promise you, you can't get on Zoom what you can get in the room. And Jorge and Disney, his wonderful wife, will deliver. So really simply, as we wrap up this call, you've got one job to do right now. You're going to reach out to whoever invited you to this call and say, hey, let's have a conversation tonight. And I want to say tonight, the reason I want to say tonight is because, guys, the event's already almost up to 50% capacity. There's a hard lock. There's going to be 1,000 people there. I promise you, with however many we've got on the call right now, everyone gets ticketed. We're like 90% full. So to secure your ticket, reach out tonight. Don't wait. Tomorrow's too late. Just send a message to whoever invited you to this call. You can see the dates there. It is in Brisbane, and we can arrange all the mechanics later on. So, Jorge, once again, thank you so much. The corporate team, thank you for putting it on. We're going to see you in January, sir. And to everyone else, you enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll be chatting to you.
And by the way, you guys, I'll say one more thing, and then I'll log off. You guys have amazing leadership, man. You guys are blessed. You guys have an amazing distributor team of leaders, and you guys have an amazing team of leaders at corporate, because I've done many events for many different countries. I've never done this. Okay, I've never been asked to do this. So the fact that your leaders, both in corporate and outside in the fields, are going the extra mile and doing all these things. I've never seen this before, and so you guys are blessed. You have an amazing team.
Thank you, man. We can't wait to have you. It's going to be one hell of a year, one hell of an event, and you have yourself a good weekend. Go back to the family, and guys, enjoy yourselves. We'll be chatting to you all very soon.
Take care.
See ya.
I always knew